The Detroit Red Wings are in the market for an upgrade, and the two biggest positions they need to address are center and defense. Ryan O'Reilly's a name that's been linked to the Red Wings, and Nashville's asking price has been leaked. The Predators are looking for a first-round pick and a top prospect for the 34-year-old veteran centerman. This is your 7-Minute Wings. Welcome back to the Red Wings Report with Strings and Pucks. This is Jeremy Laura. If you're new here, please click like and subscribe. Share this out. Help me beat the algorithms and grow this channel. Head over to hockeyhotstove.com. Read my latest write-up on the Red Wings, as well as news and information on the other 31 teams in the league. The Steve Dangle podcast talked about this yesterday, and they usually have some pretty good sources. They mentioned that the locker room in Nashville is not a great place to be right now, and a leaked asking price came out for Ryan O'Reilly of a first-round pick and a top prospect. O'Reilly, of course, 34-year-old centerman, originally drafted by the Colorado Avalanche. He's done stints in Buffalo. He went to St. Louis. He's now in Nashville. Tremendous leader, tremendous character. And for Detroit, this is a no-go for me. I'm not paying a first-round pick and a top prospect for O'Reilly. And one of the reasons is, of all of my criticisms, of any of the criticisms of Yzerman, he's improved the first-round pick greatly since taking over for Holland. The only players drafted by Holland still with this team are Dylan Larkin, Rasmussen, and Berggren. And both Rasmussen and Berggren have been on and off the trading block for, it seems like, at least the last 2 or 3 years. Everyone else was cleaned out. Yzerman absolutely cleaned house, and everyone on the roster that was on the ice in 2019 for puck drop is gone except for Dylan Larkin. And at that time, Raz and Berggren were in Grand Rapids. So Detroit's kind of in a no-win situation here. Their prospects are starting to gather a lot of attention. Carter Bear, he's starting to really heat up. I'm not moving him, right? If he's the ask, that's a no-go. Trey Augustine, this is an interesting discussion to have, guys. Trey Augustine is lights out at Michigan State University. The other thing with Trey, he's turned down his entry-level deal twice already. And this is still the interesting loophole. NCAA can now sign players that played in Canadian Junior. They can sign players who played for the AHL and the ECHL. That happened last summer. Nobody's really talking about it. But there is no way still for the NHL to sign one of their prospects while they're in the NCAA. That double standard is going to drive me insane at some point, and I'm going to do a video on that probably during the Olympic break. Augustine, if you don't get him to commit, he's good friends with Isaac Howard. What did Howard do? Howard forced Tampa Bay to trade him to Edmonton, literally recommitted to state, and then the second the trade was done that he forced, he's off the roster. State's still doing incredible this year. You know, they didn't get dinged for it at all, but the NCAA has become just a bargaining chip for a lot of players, and that's what Howard did. Augustine saw that work out. So if he's looking at the Red Wings organization, he's looking at Kosa, he's looking at Postava, Gielander is now doing really well. So if he feels like he's third or fourth on the goalie depth chart, I don't think he is. I think once he comes in, he might already be your top goaltending prospect in the AHL if he leaves college at this point. He's that good. But if he feels like this isn't where he wants to be, all Augustine has to do is wait one more year after this, and then he just goes wherever he wants. And plenty of people want him. And he's making money now in college, so he can sit. The NIL money is very, very real for a player like Augustine. So he can make as much or more than he'd make in the AHL right now just to sit tight. So that's one player I might consider who is a very top prospect if you can't get him to commit. Otherwise, I'm not paying a first-round pick and a top prospect for a veteran at 34 years old who you've only got a 1-year guarantee on, and you don't know how much longer their career is going to be. If I'm giving up a first-round pick, I have to know that for the next 6 years, I'm going to be able to have this player on the team, and they're going to be an impact player. Because the first round is something Yzerman has actually done well during this rebuild. Top prospects, I continue to go back to Lombardi. He's turning heads. Detroit's not using him. If you can turn him into the right asset, you consider it. If not, at this point, Detroit needs some of these players to step up, become the thing that improves this team. Internal improvement. And I'm looking at Marco Kasper. Get back to the guy you were 6 months ago. Whatever clicked, whatever happened, you need to get back to that guy. Call up Lombardi, give him a shot. I would love to hear from you on this. In my opinion, I'm not giving up a first and a top prospect for Ryan O'Reilly. A high prospect and a second, maybe. Maybe. Not even a guarantee, just a maybe. And if that's the ask for O'Reilly, the ask for guys like Kadri or Anderson is going to be through the roof. But in my mind right now, this closes the door on O'Reilly until the price comes down, if it comes down. And Detroit needs someone to step up and make this team better from the inside. Let me know your thoughts. I'm so grateful to everyone who's stopped by. There's a lot of new folks who tuned in. Thank you, and I will talk to you soon.